Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to a very windy episode of Shooting Film. Today we're going to be shooting with some Agfa Vista 200, which is expired. So I'll be talking about the benefits of shooting with expired film and the obvious cons of doing so. And hopefully the audio is not too bad, because this is the last sunny day for a long time and we're trying to squeeze a video in. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so let me start off with the obvious con of shooting with expired film, and that is the volatility of the results that you can get. Over 90% of the results that I had with the Agfa Optima 200 were all washed in red. They were all way too warm, and the color cast was just too strong for me to readjust, even though I got tips in my scans. And that's just kind of like the game and the dice you have to roll when you get expired film. A little backstory on Siebel. This is the place that my friends and I used to go bowl, or rather my friends used to go bowl pre-COVID, pre-masks, and they would always go. They invited me out once, but I'm terrible at bowling. That's one of the many things that I'm like completely trash at. I'm the worst in the entire group, and it's like some people engage in like sports and like, yeah, they're bad at it, but it's like kind of still fun to play with them because it's like, oh, they're having fun. But when I bowl, I'm so bad at it that it's like, it's not even funny. Well, obviously to me, but like, it's not even funny to like the people that I'm bowling with. They're like, why do you bowl like that? I hardly ever break 100. So if any of you are bad at bowling, comment down below so that I feel like I got brothers and sisters out there who are with me on this. But if you're good at bowling, you can still comment down below. Actually, comment down below what your best score is. What is your personal record, your PR? I would like to know. Or actually, maybe I don't. Another con of shooting with expired film stocks is that the sensitivity to light is a lot slower, and because the chemicals are less sensitive to light, you have to compensate with a slower shutter speed or a wider aperture. So the rule of thumb is this: with each decade you have to compensate with one more stop of light. So for the Agfa Optima 200 that I was shooting with, it expired in the year 2000, so that's 2 decades ago. Instead of metering at ISO 200, you have to meter at not 100 but ISO 64, and that's what I had to do. Completely fine in broad daylight, but in the shade it was a lot more problematic because I had to either bring the shutter speed to 1/30th or 1/15th, and for you guys, depending on which stock you have, you might have to throw your camera on a tripod and use a remote trigger or a cable release in broad daylight sometimes if you want to capture shadow details or a subject in the shadow. Alright, let's talk about the pros. It's not all doom and gloom. So the obvious pros that you can experience the good old film days from back then with the more interesting ones like maybe Agfa Optima 200, Agfa Vista 200, the Portra 400, NC, which is the neutral color. But of course, we all know that Kodak kind of combined them all into like one formula, which is the Portra 400 that we know now, and there's no other like option whether to go more vibrant or neutral. It's just all in one place. Just know that no matter how reliable the seller is, you are still rolling the dice. You still have a chance of getting a blank roll, a fogged out roll, or the results just looking completely whack. Another pro is that they're likely a cheaper option than the modern day film stocks. I bought a whole lot of expired Portra 160, 800, and 400, all for I think $56 for 18 rolls, and you could do the math and that's like incredible price. So you could find like these gigantic boxes, these gigantic lots of people just selling on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay, just trying to get rid of like the things that have been accumulating in the fridge or their warehouse for so many years. And if you could find those, you would get really lucky and you'd be set for a good amount of time. Luckily for me, all of the ones that I own expired in 2017, which is only 4 years ago. So I don't even have to compensate in terms of light, and the reliability of their chemicals is still a-okay. So most of the times you could find a cheaper option through the expired avenue. But for some people sell expired film stocks for way more than what they used to retail for in the past. For example, Fuji Natura, I believe it's $1,600. Those things are being sold for like $40 to like $100 a roll, and I don't know if it's in 120 or in 35mm, but it's still like absurd that people know that there's like a high demand for like these I don't know, these glory day film stocks, and they're like taking advantage of it. It is what it is, supply and demand. That's just like, you know, that's the free market. But just know that if you want to experience some of the good old day stuff, you might have to pay a heavy price tag. But anyways, going back to the images, when I got those original scans back, TIFFs, they were so red. I did dial them back just a little bit, but again, I couldn't fix it because it was just so washed. That's just part of the game. I thought it was really interesting. It wasn't that much of a bummer because there could have been a chance that they didn't develop at all, that they just come out blank. So it is what it is. It was a fun time experimenting with this, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two about expired film. I feel like most of the times they are going to be positive experiences. Just, you know, don't be surprised if they don't work out. That's all I have for you guys for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!